أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. That it was in the month of Ramadan that the Quran was revealed. What month could be better than that month in which the greatest of kitabs, the greatest of guidance being revealed? Hudan linnas. And then Allah explains what that Quran is. Hudan linnas. It is a guide. For whom? For everyone. Allah uses the word nas. Allah does not say Muslims. Allah does not say any other group. But He says mankind. Hudan linnas. وَبَيِّنَاتٍ مِّنَ الْهُدَى وَالْفُرْقَانِ. And it is that kitab, it is that substance that is the one that differentiates between haqq and batil, truth and falsehood, good and evil. My dear brothers and sisters, we surely are blessed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen us and has given us the greatest gift, and that is the gift of iman, the gift of belief. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَلَى الْمُنكَرِ. That let there arise a community, a group, a nation that enjoins good and forbids evil. When our brother Bilal, he told me about this program, this iftar, I immediately asked him, what is the purpose of this iftar? Why are we having this? You know, there are plenty of other things we could be doing in the blessed month of Ramadan, tilawah, adhkar, tasbihat. But when he told me that this group has been formed because of what is happening in the world, what is happening to our brothers and sisters, then there could be nothing greater. Because this is what is our deen. If we think that if we pray in the masajid, if we read Quran in our homes, and we do not have concern about the well-being of our brothers and sisters, then my dear brothers and sisters, there's a deficiency in our iman. There is a hole in our iman. And this hole is being filled with hypocrisy and nifaq. And the Sahaba, subhanAllah, they're asking, oh Ya Rasulullah, that time will the Muslims, that the enemies of Islam will be able to overpower us? What did the Prophet say? He said, no. Rather, you'll be great in number.
You never hear that language. Employment lawyers play the fine line between their clients that are employees and their employers, but they never give advice to put an employer in harm or subject them to potential lawsuits from employees that they would fire, but suddenly they have the guts to say that. They're writing in articles in newspapers. People are getting fired, students are getting harassed, academics getting harassed by the universities. Presidents of universities having the guts to make anti-Islamic and anti-Palestinian comments. One after another after another. In our field, a president of what's called the Canadian Bar Association, it's a national organization that represents lawyers. It's not the Law Society, but it's a very large organization. The president goes and puts a pro-Israel comment. Our friends in the Canadian Muslim Lawyer Association sends him a letter, and only when they start seeing the devastations that were happening, he switches the letter to a little bit more of a moderate language. But guess what? He doesn't bother to write back to the CMLA that sent him the letter or apologize. There was arrogance everywhere. Now, people started acting, reacting, but we knew that something needed to happen. What is it? We didn't know. So we formed a group, a WhatsApp group. And within days, we started seeing hundreds of Canadian, Muslim, and Arab professionals joining in. Just a WhatsApp group. A few days later, we joined NCCM for a fundraiser. And I'm telling you, before October 7th, I did not know what NCCM is. At all. I looked up their history, I looked at the work they're doing, and for the first time the word lobbying becomes live in my world, and as well as many others. And we had great participation. A lot of people from our group start joining into that call that Kashif organized. with Brother Stephen Brown, the national head of NCCM, and we started to learn what lobbying is all about. It was a fundraiser though, and people were actually financially participating because they were angry, they didn't know what else to do. This was not a regular mosque building fundraiser. This was for lobbying purposes. It's not a charity. There's no charitable tax deductions, but people were putting their money in. Then we organized another event, and then another event, and people start participating. But the dialogue on that group was extremely encouraging. First, we had somebody that posts something on social media, and the whole group would start reacting on it. Then we start writing letters to universities, joining other organizations like writing letters, until the Minister of Higher Education, or the ex-Minister of Higher Education, Selena Robinson, made her famous comment about Palestine being a crappy piece of land. Then we saw the community come together, and the effect of that letter that went out became way more than my vote. It became about lobbying, about special interests, about speaking up. Then we start meeting other organizations. I start interacting more with the Canadian Muslim Lawyer Association and seeing what they're doing on their end. So from there, from a WhatsApp group, from a few events here and there, was born the idea that we need to take this to the next level. I don't want to wake up one day having coffee and seeing buildings being bombed again, and our politicians running to support the attacker. This was in the past. This cannot happen again. So,